Hello, hello, hello. This is Bunker 21. My name, what's my name? Kane. My name
It's
is Kane.
Cade.
I keep forgetting that. Yeah. My name is Kane, and I'm sitting here with Yanni, and this is going to be another drive-through podcast.
hmm
We have a lot of fun making these because they're super, well, I mean, okay, to be frank, they're really easy to get done, but they're also
Yeah, they're pretty
they're
easy.
also just really efficient to sort of get our like ideas out and our arguments out. And I think it's a better way to do podcasts. I think we've really, yeah, I don't think this is an exaggeration. I think we have the best podcasts in the world.
Okay.
So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so if you're not listening to this podcast, you're wrong. Um,
um,
wait,
sorry,
what's the
sorry,
let's do
sorry.
it.
I no. I just want to point something out. If the audience, the listeners to this podcast are hearing like glass tinkering noises,
Uh-huh.
I am at the moment eating some pesto chicken and pasta.
Oh, I love pesto. Wait, what kind of
hmm
pesto are you having?
there are multiple versions of pesto. Are there multiple
What are you
versions of
talking about?
pesto?
No, wait, are you like, is it like a homemade thing or do you like a brand kind of thing?
No, it's more. Is it? I said pesto mainly because I think that's what it is. I
Is
don't
it
think I've ever.
green?
It's green.
Okay, so it's either pesto or it's like really bad marinara. So like,
Yeah. All I know
are
is
you,
that
s-
it's from
yeah.
Costco. It's from Costco.
I love the Costco pesto. That's my favorite
I
thing
fucking love.
ever.
It's like the frozen thing
The,
where you can just put it in microwave and just reheat it.
oh, you're talking about like a dish, right?
Dish yeah.
Yeah, I have the Costco pesto sauce, like the thing by itself.
Oh, I've had that before. It's delicious. It's
I love it
absolutely.
so much.
We're
Yeah,
getting a
I would
little.
like, yeah, I would get like that straight. I would get that delivered actually. Like that would be a big thing for me.
Oh, for real.
Very, yeah, it's a big thing. I love it. I love it so much.
We're getting a little off point. Off point right here. You wanna?
It's a bunker. It's a
Yeah,
bunker. There's no
it's bunker.
real sort of bunker. It's all
Exactly.
fun.
We could be high for all we know, and you guys wouldn't even know because we're so
Well,
smart and well spoken.
no, yeah. Well, some of us.
That's not
Wait, are
true.
you? No,
That's
it's not.
that's not true.
But I'm also not officer. I'm not. That's not the right word to use. It's not the right joke. Anyway, what is today's topic? Today's topic is sports in our society. So Yami and I were having an argument about this before. Not
Yes, sir.
really heated or anything. Although it
No,
might
it's
get
definitely heated.
it was getting really heated. Yeah, okay,
hmm
yeah. We were having a heated argument. I threatened his family. I threatened him. I said
Oh,
that,
okay.
if you would make up your mind. But, okay, the reason why it's like a little hard for me to get through this is because I know that I have just one very simple job to do right now, which is just to say what we're talking about.
hmm
But I'm seeing him like eat his chicken on the thing, and it's like the funniest thing ever because he's just like gobbling it up, and he looks like, I don't know, like a turkey. It's just so funny. Anyway, anyway. No, 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 no. Okay, okay, okay. So today's podcast is about sports in our society, right? It's not going to be like a debate thing because that's kind of boring, but
hmm
the way that it's sort of formatted is that I am arguing that I think sports has an outsized uh, place of importance in our society. I'm not super subscribed to this opinion. I see their appeal,
hmm
but I think that it's slightly injurious to the way that our society functions, and Yami disagrees. Now that I also have some opinions about the way student athletes function, because I think
Yes.
that's slightly different too. And
hmm
I think it's very important to examine the importance of athletics in our culture, because there's this whole educational thing I want to get into. Like, I think the US, for example, would do a lot better educationally if we shifted our priorities a bit. That's so disrespectful. You're coughing, and I'm stating my thesis statement. How? You're coughing again?
No, I accidentally inhaled water.
Look in my face. Look in my face. How? Look in my face. How dare you?
Do you want me to asphyxiate?
That's not the word. That's not
That's
how you
not the
pronounce
word.
that
That's
word.
I know what the word is though. Fuck man. Okay, you say okay. Say what you gotta say. I'm gonna search it up.
Asphyxiate. Asphyxiate.
Asphyxiate. Why can't I say it correctly?
You're
Can
saying
I English?
asphyxiate. like a fisser.
Asphyxiate.
Yes.
Okay.
Like I went to buy some fish today.
Yeah.
Asphyxiate.
Do you want me to
Normalizing.
fine? Do you want me to suffocate on air? No, on water. no, I'm sorry. Wait, I'm sorry. That was bad. Can you continue? Can you explain what you were telling me? Just reiterate what you were telling me before.
No. So the educational stance, that thing.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So my point is that like the countries that are doing really well in education, like Singapore, South Korea, I mentioned that not for any specific reason. You don't know our races, audience. Like a lot of Asian countries, a lot of European countries like Finland. I'd like to say a lot of Scandinavian countries, I think, right? Like they're very good. So when it comes to that, they don't have nearly as much of a sports emphasis as we do. And I don't want to draw too much of a conclusion, like too much of a correlation, but I have to think that there's something there because it's just very like, it's too coincidental, right? Because we have these big games and we have a big sports culture and everything that sort of drives the importance of everything. And we have, huge salaries for coaches, but we don't have, like great funding for teachers. And so to me, the priority seems off. And I know the sort of economic argument for it, right? People see sports games, they don't watch mathletes or whatever. So obviously, you're going to want to put the money where the thing is, where the demand is. It's economics. You and I both know how that works. But what I have to say to that is just like, there's also something to be said of importance, right? Subsidization, all of that. Is it subsidization or
Subsidiz. Can we even English today?
I don't think so. I think we better go back to our country.
Humor. We love it.
Humor.
Totally white people here.
Is fine if you're.
We're as white as a dick.
What? Is it subsidization or is it subsidization?
No, subsidization. There's a Z in it.
That's a weird way to say that word. Anyway, but there's something about subsidization, right? But yeah, that's the starting of my argument. That took 7 minutes. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But you go. What are your thoughts on what I'm saying?
So, I think you made
How dare you? No, I'm kidding. All right, go ahead. Have to get that
out. Fuck. Cockswackle. So I think you made I think we need to make a very clear distinction between college sports and professional sports, especially because in my opinion, both of those specific facets of sports of the sports world are completely different. I think that you and I can both agree that the sports bureaucracy, specifically the NCAA, they take advantage of their student athletes a lot.
It's corrupt, it feels like sometimes.
Yeah, and they often try to justify it by saying that the students are getting their
education.
So it's fine for us to use their image and profit off of it, but they can't make money for themselves. Interesting. Okay.
We should mention that then, right? We both agree on this point.
Yeah, I agree.
Student athletes get the raw end of the deal, basically.
Right? They do.
Okay, cool.
Apparently, there's been a movement going on about the NCAA has to pay its athletes, or else the top athletes in the country are going to go to, I don't know, are not going to play in college, so they won't get as much revenue, which is great. All the power to the athletes. You made a point about, I don't know if you mentioned it in the podcast, but I know before the podcast you said something about how student athletes are not able to pursue their interests because
this is a different. Yeah. So do you want me to restate what I said?
Yeah. Can you say that? Can you restate that?
So you're right. I didn't mention this in the podcast, but this is another reason why I think you've got to rethink student athletes. By the way, another thing I was mentioning that you sort of that I didn't really make clear was like I think the way athletics functions in like high school and stuff should be
Mhm.
examined a little bit. Ooh, there are carrots in it. That's fun. But but like anyway, I think what I'm trying to say is that student athletes when they go to college,
Okay.
sometimes and it's been reported that this is really true when you go to like a school that is really known for its sports, so like D1 or something.
Like LSU,
And
USC. Okay.
I think Williams, right, is D1 for some. Williams is a different league. What am I talking about? Never mind.
I mean, USC and LSU are both in different leagues as well. One's on the West Coast, one's in the South. So
No, yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
I'm just naming various D1 schools. But then again,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Stanford is a D1 school too, right?
is
Isn't
it?
he?
Is it?
I think Stanford's D1 for some things. I'm pretty sure. I'd imagine. They're very sports-oriented schools. I don't actually know. This is
Apparent.
all
Wait.
complete. Because
Yeah.
I know
Don't
that.
worry. I don't think. Yeah, they're Division One. Yeah, they're D1.
Yeah, I know Harvard's not D1, and I know Stanford is D1, and it was
Yeah.
just weird to me that that was the difference.
Yeah.
Because
But anyway,
Harvard does
continue.
athletic recruits anyway. But I mean, well, sorry, we're so off track. I'm very off track today. But the reason why I was getting this out there was a John Oliver piece, you know, the show Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, that show.
Yeah.
It's like the talk show that he has. And I
Mhm.
love it. I love the talk show. I think he does a really good job with him. So he was talking about student athletes. And there was a point that he made about how these student athletes, when they go to university, they don't generally get the attention they deserve in education. And they're not forced to take, like, it's not said that you have to take this major, but it's like their schedules are so demanding to be athletes, like demanding to the point like no other student actually has to do this, that they end up just taking very easy majors or majors that don't necessarily pay well afterwards or majors that they're not interested in. And like I think there was a common it was this crazy kind of racist thing where like a lot of them were meant to take like, you know, racial studies or whatever. And like for foreign language, they were all meant to take like Swahili or something, like some really obscure language, so that it was never supposed to be proven whether
Mhm.
they learned anything or not.
Mhm.
And that's not great when you're going to make the argument that like, you know, this is for education. You know what I mean? Because like if you're not getting educated properly, then what is it really for?
Okay.
That's the scary part. And I think we should talk about the college system. Genuinely, I think this would be a good topic. But like the college system is so expensive and so messed up that I think that if you're not getting at least what everyone else is getting
Yeah.
for all the work you're putting in, then something is really off.
So I have several
Well, la di da.
I have several points about that.
Sure.
I think that initially when you said that, I thought you were going to criticize the athletes for not
No.
taking for, or rather the
Never.
sports schedule.
Never.
So I was a little
Never.
confused there. So now I can see where the confusion can. Now I can see what your true argument is. It's mainly because I think you're criticizing the high expectations or such the
Yeah,
demand
I'm
the dem-
criticizing. I'm criticizing sorry, yeah, go ahead. You're
yeah,
completely right.
you're criticizing the demand of the schedule
Yeah,
that really just forces
it restricts the
yeah,
students.
rest-
Yeah, and they're
yeah,
students, you know.
yeah, exactly. It restricts the students, and so then in that vein, I agree with you. I also think that there are two sides to the story, to this issue. One is that a lot of the students who get recruited are aware that they're there for sports.
Yes, this is
It's
true.
For example, if you let's say I like sports, I really do. I'm not really that huge into college sports, but I know of like the
Sure,
main ones like
sure.
basketball and football. If you're a football if you're a football athlete and you get recruited to let's say Clemson or Alabama, those are the two top college football programs in the country. I feel like if you're at least a top 5 star or 4 star recruit, you're not really going to. You're not really going if you got recruited there. You're not really going there for the education. While Alabama and Clemson are great
You're going
educational
there to
schools.
sort of get into the NFL or whatever.
Yeah,
That's your point. For
your
sure.
point is the NFL. If you're a basketball recruit and you get recruited to schools like Duke or LSU, then you're not sorry, not LSU, yeah, Duke, Kentucky, all that, North Carolina. You're not really going there for education. I'm not speaking for every single athlete and
I don't
recruit.
disagree with you there. Yeah,
I don't.
but those are edge cases. You have to agree, right? Like
I mean,
not
yes,
everyone's
no,
going to
no,
become like a professional athlete. They can't.
exactly, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of the athletes, a lot of the athletes, oh, the really good ones, the star athletes are there just mainly for sports.
Okay.
The other ones in my opinion, while they're there, they are there for sports. Also, a lot of them genuinely do take classes that that they are interested in because sports for them is a way to go to school basically scot free, basically for free. I
You're
mean,
well, yeah. I mean, that's the whole point of it. But I think the issue is when they're not allowed to, you
what
know?
do you mean? What do you mean?
As in like when you have a schedule that's I completely agree with you. I'm not disagreeing at all where if you're going to Duke for basketball, you're probably going to try to get recruited into like the NBA. Right?
Yeah,
That's your
draft.
sort
Yeah,
of
yeah.
drafted. Yeah. Right. And so that's your goal.
Mhm.
You know, and I don't disagree there. I mean, yeah,
Mhm.
and there's nothing wrong with it. That's the whole
Yeah.
point.
Mhm.
But there are a lot of people that use sports going off of your point, right? They use sports as like a way to get into school free
Yeah.
and they use it justifiably. The path is there. They should take advantage of it
Mhm.
to go to school and, not have the same expenses. But they're still paying a price of their attention and of their time, right?
Mhm.
And once that price is, and that price to me at least is a little high because there are a lot of cases, at least the ones that I saw in that video. And so I'm just hoping this video is accurate, because this informs my whole perspective.
Yeah.
But like, there was just a lot of instances of people that like never really intended to get drafted afterwards, and instead they were just using it as a way to get into school and go
Yeah.
for free.
Mhm.
But like, because the schedule was so intense, and because when like your entire like you when you stay at school, it's entirely dependent on the fact of like you being able to play, right? So if you get injured or
Yes.
something, don't you get sent back? Like, isn't this true?
I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure about that. My only concern with what you're saying though is that I'm speaking. So I'm not a college athlete, but I have friends who are, and I've
Hmm.
asked them because they appear to be very busy, and I get that, and I've asked them how their schedule works, and the thing is, a lot of the college athletes that I've spoken to, do concede that their schedule is very busy, but they do make the time to study
Okay.
and do
Yeah.
work.
Well, that's
So
fair.
and their coaches do make it clear that education is important.
Well, that's good too. That's very
So
good.
so I feel like in terms of because here's the thing, if you're an athlete and this like let's say you're a football
Hmm.
athlete or whatever,
Hmm.
and the schedule is set or whatever, and you have tests or classes before that, I feel like your obligation as a student in that case should be, hey, let me take these tests before. Or just, of course, it's a pain in the ass, but you can move. I feel like the onus then should be on the student to move the shit around.
No, I mean, yeah, no, you're right.
It's
I agree with you.
also, I will also argue though that it's the restriction part really depends on which sport I feel like your school favors the most. If you're a sport like football that brings in a lot of revenue for the school, there's less there's less flexibility
For
because
sure.
what your
For sure.
actions, the availability of the athletes, the student athletes, is literally money.
Yeah,
Availability.
yeah, yeah.
If
Sure.
you're a school, and I apologize to apologize to the people who play this sport. Let's say field hockey. In my field hockey.
How dare you?
Okay, well, I'm
No,
not
no, but
saying.
yeah, I get what you're saying. I
I'm
get
not
what you're
saying. I'm
saying.
not. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm not saying field hockey is a bad sport. I personally.
Well, I mean, but
Okay,
yeah.
well, all
No, no,
right.
no. But your point
But
totally makes
my
sense
point is that field hockey is not as popular as hockey. Sorry,
for sure.
as football. So
Yep.
then the school's concern, financial concern, is it wanes, it wanes and is considerably small relative to football. So there's much
Yes.
more. I mean, yes, the schedule is still set there, but there's less pressure, I guess, for the student. I might be speaking out of my ass at this moment. Maybe just this is me being ignorant, but I feel like the school has a much larger obligation to football than for field hockey.
You're kind of, I mean, I think you're dancing around it, but you're kind of saying that, like, when a sport makes less money, the school cares less about it,
Yeah.
which is true. I mean, I think it's like, how dare
Mm-hmm.
you say that? But yeah, it's genuinely true. I think it's definitely true. I don't think people have ever gone to, I've never gone to a field hockey game. I've accidentally gone to a football game. So, yeah. Um, uh, yeah, anyway, let's, I'm also trying to think about it in terms of sports where, I don't know, I feel like we both are on the same side about uh, what we think about when we think about like student athletes and the
Yeah.
situation that they're in.
So then
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
move into the second argument, which is more
sure.
international pro sports countries. Like you mentioned countries and all that. Um,